In the recent past, India signed trade agreements with some major global economies like the EU and the UK, and negotiations with some other major economies are still ongoing. But one question remains unanswered. Why do we sign trade deals? What is their relevance? Does it truly serve the national interest, or is it merely a populist policy? If trade deals are important, then why do protests and criticism follow? If there's protest and criticism, is it even necessary? But before we jump to conclusions, let's first understand the why. Hi everyone, this is Shubhi and welcome to Shubhi Speaks. In the international politics, there's a popular saying, there are no permanent friends or enemies. What's permanent is the national interests. Trade deals allows countries to advance and protect their national interests by rewriting the terms of the trade that are to be followed. They are not just economic policies, but they are also a tool of asserting strategic interests, because trade deals aren't just about trade, they are also about choosing who you want to be economically dependent upon. One of the most visible features of the trade deals is the reduction in tariffs. For ease of understanding, tariffs are taxes or duties that are imposed on the import and export of goods and services. When the tariffs are lowered or eliminated, it allows cheaper access to the international markets, thus making a country's products more competitive globally. Trade deals can create a win-win situation for the participating economies, as they generally work on the principle of producing what they are most efficient at and trading the rest, thereby creating mutual gains. But these gains are not distributed equally. Some sectors may grow exponentially while some others may even underperform. And this is where the debate kicks in. But their relevance goes beyond the economics. In today's uncertain geopolitical environment, every country wants to explore options to remain internationally relevant and become an indispensable part of the global supply chains. To achieve that, diversification of the supply chains and trading partners is essential. And that too without exorbitantly high tariff rates. This is where the trade deal comes into picture. However, there's a flip side also. Sometimes an agreement may be more favorable to one party than the other. This can create labor hardships, as the weaker domestic industry may struggle to compete with more efficient international players, thereby hurting the workers, producers, and even the consumers within the domestic economy. And that is why criticism follows the trade agreement. In a globalized world, isolation is rarely an option. Trade deals can open new markets, but they can also expose weaknesses. They can strengthen the supply chains, but they can also test the domestic resilience. And like every strategic decision, their success depends not merely on signing them, but on how wisely they are negotiated and implemented. What do you think? Tell me your views in the comments. Happy learning!